Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Well, now we just finished a three-part series on on the fact that your world is a reflection of you. What you look at as the outside world is a reflection of what you're doing inside. Now, we had so much fun with that I saved most of the model that we made, and we're going to use it in this video, so I don't have to redraw a lot of stuff. Oh, we're having some Japanese green tea today. Now, the subject for today is there is no outside world. There's no outside world, which is quite counterintuitive, because the egoic belief system is there's an outside world. As a matter of fact, that's what it runs on, is the outside world. Now, here am I coming along and saying there's no outside world. And that's why we're still using this model. You'll notice, and I'll blow it up a little bit so you can see that I did a little artistic drawing here of the energy system that is outside of you. And in this system, I used colors to try to simulate what the different senses are acquiring from this energy, this information that's outside of us in the energy system. So there's a lot of colors in here, and they go back and forth and in and out. And now over here we have the stable big head. I drew it on a big head with the five senses. Now, the senses are limited. Now, you probably know that, but you keep forgetting it because you think that the senses are telling you everything there is to tell about this outside energy. And it's not. They can only tell you what they're designed to tell you. And the sight sees in wavelengths of energy. Auditory operates on frequencies and pressure against the eardrum. Goes in and out, just like a speaker, electronic speaker. Kinesthetic touch. You are dealing with pressure against the skin, against the nervous system. So it's not telling you, it's only telling you certain things within certain ranges, like the ear. When the frequency is too high and too intense, it'll hurt. And if it's too low, you won't be able to hear, but there's still noise. There's still information at lower frequencies. Certain animals can hear that. not humans. Elephants hear very low frequencies for miles. You're smelling. Your nose doesn't smell anything. It just takes information, and the smell, the molecules of smell don't go in the body. None of the senses take stuff into the body if they're operating properly. They all take information into the body and then convert that information into electromagnetic and chemical, sometimes chemical signals, and present them to the mind as raw data. Now, but we think the eyes do things that they're not designed to do. And I mention the eye because it's the greatest amount of information that we get. The eye does not see objects. Doesn't see objects. In the first of that series that we just got through with, we talked about a tree, and that tree is still here from that one. And of course, out here, it's just energy. It's information. And we take and it looks kind of like this, has a lot of different information. And we take that information in, the senses convert it to data. The data is brought in, and then it is compared with what we know from the past, from our experiences. And that experience is all in the subconscious mind. So we have a filter system of the input data to select individually what is important for me or you or anyone. The subconscious, the individual's subconscious mind, where your memories are stored, takes the input information and filters through it to find what's meaningful for you. And then, now you got meaningful data over here. It converts or creates that information, that meaningful information for you into your world. Your world. So you live inside. Inside, you have, for you, a meaningful world. Outside, you have information, energy, but it's meaningless until you create it, until you interpret the information and create your world. And now that's what we did here. Now that tree, you'll have to go back to that first video in the series. But basically, if somebody says, oh, there's a tree out there, do you see the tree? And you turn to look at the space that he's calling out, which is energy. You take the energy in based on your senses. You filter it based on your experiences, which are now memories. Select the meaningful data and then create a tree. And you say, yes, I see that tree. I perceive that that energy is a tree. based on my experience. That's how you create your world. So outside, meaningless energy. Inside, meaningful world. There is no outside world. Outside, energy. Inside, meaningful world. And we all do that. And we all have a meaningful world on the inside. And it's all from what's out here. So you have a meaningful world and I have a meaningful world. And we're looking at the same energy system. Right now, we're doing that through a video, which is just information in a certain format, and you are taking it in, and you are creating inside of you me. You're creating me inside of you, but it's not me. It's your interpretation based upon your past history of information, energy, like me. You did a pretty good job. There's nothing outside of you. It's meaningless. And by the way, that is the first lesson in the Course in Miracles. Hard to believe how we tied those two together. Outside, nothing you see in this space, through this window, in this place, means anything until you interpret it inside. And you put all the meaning there is on it from inside, not from what's out here. Quite different from the egoic world. Now, so why I create a tree and the other person creates a tree, two different trees. And why I create a car and you create a car, as you say, well, there's a car. We're not going to see the same car. We think we do. And there'll be a lot of things in common. And I again encourage you to look at that last three videos on the outside is a reflection of what you're doing inside. Because this tree reflects what you're doing inside. If you have negative things happen out here, it's because of what you're doing inside. If you want to change your world out here, you got to do it from inside. And that brings us maybe to our next video around what manifesting is and what manifesting is not. There is no outside world. There is only the world you create inside. That's also what the ancient wisdom of the Upanishads also said. And they said a little bit different. They said, there is no outside world. The only world or the only universe there is the one you create inside. Now, we talked about projection, because once we have it inside, we believe through the egoic programming that it's outside. We believe that because the conscious mind, which speaks your language, the conscious mind tells you that this inside creation is the outside world. And I said that it projects what you're doing in here onto the outside energy system. And it seems that way. But your conscious mind is also inside. Your subconscious mind is also inside. The only way you know anything about what the outside is through your senses. And your senses are limited. So why you think you are getting information about the outside world, which is energy, you are actually only getting information that the senses can send to you. Now, if you look real close, we got 5 senses, and on each one, I put a different color. So we got 5 colors. There's more than 5 colors in this outside energy system. There's more information than we are aware of. We think we see, our senses tell us everything. No, they don't. No, they don't. They only tell us what they're capable of transmitting based on how they're designed. And then you take what they're giving you and you cut that down because you don't have all the experience through your history to pick out the meaningful data from here. So you lose a lot of information, but what information you do have is high-graded. Is high-graded information that is important for you, and that's the information that you use to create your world. So nothing, this tree that the other person saw and the tree that you created inside from the same energy system, the same outside energy, is not the same, but they're very close. And again, we talked in that series about how we bring this together into oneness. To recognize at root, we're all one. But when we look out through what the senses are telling us, they say, oh, there's all kinds of stuff out here. And I make separate decisions, and you make separate decisions. But everything is interrelated. And so when you change, the universe has to change to keep everything balanced. And when I change, the universe has to change to keep everything in balance. And whether you recognize it or not at your level, if I change, it's going to affect you. It's like a domino effect, except it's instantaneous. Except it's instantaneous. And you will believe, oh no, I made a decision to do this on my own. You create your world, and I create mine out of the same energy system, and it is entangled. We have a lot to talk about here in the illusion. At root, we are one. In the egoic belief system, we're separate and can never be one. We have to move behind the illusion to see a world that's really there. Give that some thought. See if you have any questions or comments. Put them down below. Subscribe. That's always fun. And we look forward to seeing you next time we get together here in the illusion. Bye now.